Hey guys, Dib the Awesome here to give you another Monster Legends Guides where we talk about monsters, moves, rune sets, partners, all that jazz. Today we are talking about General Nishant in the line of my favorite generals in Monster Legends. He is my sixth favorite general. In the entire Monster Legends General series, or like the General series and all that jazz. So what's General Nishant's game? What's up with him? What's the 411 if you know what I'm saying? What's great about him? What's not great about him? Well, that's why you came to this video to learn about him. So yeah, starting off his power 3,542. This is a really nice power. Odds are it's probably the highest damage. I think I do believe this is the highest. This might be the highest damage power. I'm sorry if I'm stuttering a lot. This might be the highest power in terms of general power. In terms of the generals, this is one of the highest powers. I do believe. It's not the definite answer. I'm not saying it's the highest. I don't know the highest. I'm just saying it's possibly the highest. So far, with all the general guides I've done, this seems to be the highest one. If I forgot, I probably forgot like General Holter's power. I can't remember what Holter's power was, but this power is pretty high nonetheless. This goes over a lot of things. The damage output's really phenomenal. In terms of basic damage, you can get a sense of like just his basic attacks alone are just gonna hurt with the base stat of this power. I'm gonna say that's dependent on your damage runes you put on it. How many damage, like what's the level of damage runes? It usually varies on damage dealers. His life is 22,016. This is a really terrible life. It's bad because you really, in all honesty, when you look at an attacker, at least for me anyway, I look at the power and how it is. What's the power? How hard it hits, and how much damage you can actually sustain. So this thing cannot take a lot. You don't want General Nishant to take any form of damage, really. He just doesn't like that. He doesn't want a whole lot of damage output on him. He just wasn't built to be taking a lot of hits. In fact, he's kind of like an assassin. Think of him like the guy that just comes up from behind and stabs you. And this would be a very terrifying... Sorry. This would be a very terrifying sword to get stabbed by. I'm sorry, but if you got like shanked from behind from this, that would not feel pleasant. like if it goes through you like your, oh my, it would be very unpleasant. Because that blade looks like it has not. That blade looks like it has not been well kept. It was like he just kind of left it to like he just kind of like jammed it back and forth in a jigs, like a key door, like he was trying to open like a door. Maybe that's like his door to his house. Maybe that's just like a big old key. It's a key blade. I mean, I don't know, it's a sign indication. That's that weird, that weird like keyhole formation. I've never looked at Kingdom Hearts. It could be a key blade. But yeah, that's one messed up key blade. So yeah. he doesn't look like he can take a lot of hits. It's because he wasn't designed to take a lot of hits in terms of like his hit points. His speed is 3,476. I think this might be the fastest speed of all the generals, if I'm not mistaken. In terms of generals, this is the fastest speed. He has denier speed, which is interesting. So if you did 2 speeds and a strength, you would win the speed war between that, and if they were running a General Darmith, if that was their attacker, you would go first. There's no debate about that. His trait is tough. Generals are tough. All status effects have 35% less accuracy against this target. This is nice on him because he really doesn't want to get denied. If he has a chance to avoid getting denied, he would love that. Because like this is a brittle. In all honesty, brittle damage dealers do not want to get denied. If you're running a brittle damage dealer, I'm telling this right now. If you're running a brittle damage dealer, make sure your comp can make sure they can move. Make sure with their comp they have the ability to remove that freeze, to remove that stun, or whatever the case may be. Make sure they can move. A lot of monsters have really high attack power, but usually a lot of times it comes with a really low base speed. This isn't the case for this one. This one has a really great speed. And, they're usually brittle too. They're usually slow and they're usually brittle. For Nishant, it's just the case of the event that he's brittle. You just gotta keep that in mind. But yeah, this works well with him. This works in his favor. This works exceptionally well due to the fact a lot of people use Krampus. I will say if you rank this guy quite a bit, let's see, what's 110? 110, he gets okay life, his basic life now. I will say he runs a lot better against If you're fighting Krampus and you put this thing on a ranked up Nishant on defense, you'll probably fail. You would probably not fail, fare pretty well with this. You'll probably fare pretty well with this, with these stats, if you rank him up quite a bit. I will say he's going to be the last general to be removed in the shop. If you wanted to stock up on a general, just didn't look for the longest of times, if this is the longest, this general is going to be on the shop for a really long time. So you have time to stock up on Nishants if you wanted to. If you really love this guy, I'm going to say this right now. If you really love the design, if you really love this monster, get this monster. He's 800 coins, and take the time to rank him up. Because if you take the time to rank him up, I think he'll be really competitively viable. In terms of he's got a lot of, he has to deal with the best attackers in the game. He has to deal with Barbatos and he has to deal with Razul. That's a huge competition, and if you can get this guy to rank up quite a bit, he's going to be in a better spot. You'll be competitively, you'll be in a better competitive place. Because I think right now with the offensive stats are nice. It's just this life that's really bothersome. This 22k life, it's really bothersome, and he has to deal with the likes of Krampus and again Barbatos and Razul. You have to deal with those things. Demonic Obliteration deals insane special damage, may burn target. I like this because A, he's a damage dealer, so he benefits from this ultimate. Is it single damage? Is it single target damage? Yeah. Is it 90? It's 90 damage. So it's pretty much, if your runes are pretty nice, it's a guaranteed. You're gonna kill something. Something's probably gonna die if you have good enough runes or you're under the double damage buff. Something's gonna take a lot of damage. Plus you're burning them, so that's a thing. No, he's got nothing really in skill groups 1 to talk about. We're going to talk about skill groups 2 and 3. Imperious Cuts deals moderate special damage, may make target bleed. This is a 0-turn cooldown move. It's a spammable move, I'm assuming. Has 28 stamina, 40 damage. Personally, I wish this was 45 damage. Personally, I'm going to say this is an option to run because it's a spammable move. You should probably run spammable moves. In the case of the event you're dealing with Timeron, I like running spammable moves, things that I can do constant damage with. It's nice. I like constant damage, especially against dark monsters. I will say this might be a mandatory move in the case of the event he's just him and another dark monster. I think he does have a move that makes him immune, weak to dark attacks. So you might not have to run this move. I'm saying you can though if you don't want to do the whole ignite on the first turn and then attack on the second turn. That kind of dealio. But you get the option. I would say this is an optional move. I'm not saying it's the best move, but I'm saying it's an optional move. Artificial Souls deals moderate damage to all enemies, may give nightmares to all targets, requires a cooldown of 4 turns. Don't run this move. Don't run this move for a number of reasons. A, it's a 4-turn cooldown AoE. It's 37 stamina. Stamina's kind of too heavy. What's the stamina cost in Satanic Flame? Yep. Satanic Flame. Same dealio actually, but just better, just better effect. He has a better one. He has a better AoE that does burning, which I just just kind of skimmed across. And a lot of dark monsters are immune to nightmares. It's pretty much, nightmares are basically dark's natural immunity, their own vaccine, if you will. So there's really no point in running a nightmare AoE. If, in all honesty, if the dark monster has highest AoE as a nightmare, don't run the AoE. don't run it unless it's its own. In all honesty, if it's only damaging AoE. But in this case, it's not, so don't run this move, please. Don't run the nightmares. This is not worth it because again, a lot of dark monsters are immune to nightmare. Shadow Form. In all honesty, too, the damage output is 5. You just stack damage. This is a 5%. Health loss. It's not all that major. Unless it's stacked, I will say it's not major unless you stack it with other multiple stacks of DOTs. This doesn't work too well by itself. You have to have other DOTs for this to play greater. Essentially, if you get someone to bleed and then apply this, you're essentially burning them. And you can apply burn too. You could run that argument. I suppose you could run the argument. You could run artificial souls, and then the next AOE satanic flames, and then a poison AOE, and then you got like a total of what, a 30 damage, like dot damage per turn. Yes, that's a valid answer. But I think a lot of dark monsters are just immune to nightmares. It's just a common immunity. It's the equivalent of attuned. It's about as useful as attuned, and yeah, you know how useful attuned is. Super attuned is all right. Attuned is not. Attuned is like 15 points. Come on. So yeah, pretty bad DOT. This is a better version. Shadow form ignores all incoming attacks for 1 turn. May apply damage boost to itself. May gain precision. Requires a cooldown of 4 turns. So basically, this is pretty much. You get it's kind of a reduce / buff of Dartmouth's half damage buff, because Dartmouth gives himself double damage and half damage, while in this case Nishant is taking no damage, plus he's getting precision too. Like literally, he's not gonna take any damage for a whole span of until his next turn. Plus he gets precision, but it's nerfed in the fact due to the fact that it's on 1 turn. He's only immune for that until his next turn. Then he's free to hit. Then you can beat him down whatever stake he has left. But it's again the Phantom is a single turn, like a single turn of the span of the buff. Dharma's half damage lasts for 2 turns, which is a lot less damage taken over time in the span of that time. And yeah, that's about it in terms of spanning. And then the damage boost too. The damage is like he doesn't get double damage; he gets damage boost. Damage boost is alright, but double damage is staple. Double damage is really more powerful than damage boost. Torment Cuts deals very heavy special damage, may make target bleed, requires a cooldown of 2 turns, 31 stamina, 65 damage. This is a key thing to understand. It's a 65 damage move. Is it on his 2-turn cooldown? Yeah, that's painful about it. I will say use this against the dark monster. This is his tool against dark monsters. It does a lot of damage and it makes them bleed. So remember about how painful it would be to get stabbed by this? Yeah, when he stabs somebody, he makes them bleed. That's how bad. That's how painful the sword is. You rip holes in people. Can a lot of swords do that? Yeah, but this thing makes more. Like he stabs it, and then for some reason you have another hole in you, and you're bleeding out of it. It's like, oh dang, dude, he's vicious. But yeah, this is nothing to spit at, especially if they're running really decent damage runes. I will say at some point, if your damage runes are really high, let's say 9 or 10, if you're running 2 or 9s or 2 10s, and their enemy is not running any life runes, it's going to do so much. They're knocked out at this point. It does so much damage. The natural life doesn't cut it. That's kind of the thing. This excels really nice in brittle play. I will say that if the team is really brittle, if they can't take much damage, or just like they need set up before they can take a whole bunch of damage, this is a great initial damage. This hurts. This hurts a lot. Satanic Flames deals moderate dark damage to all enemies. May burn all targets. This requires a cooldown of 4 turns. Same as the other one, 37 stamina, and same as the other one, 37 stamina and 35 damage AoE. This is a staple. You should run this move. It applies burning to everybody, so he does like he can put everyone on fire and then make them bleed. If that doesn't give any some pretty dark gestures. I know this guy's like the Dark General, but yeah, he's pretty dark. He puts people on fire and then makes them bleed. This guy's dark. Yeah, he even has dark supremacy. Yeah, this guy's really dark. He's the Dark General. I know he's like the Dark General, huh? Yeah, he's supposed to be Dark Dib, but dude, this guy's sadistic. He puts people on fire and then makes them bleed. This guy's messed up. But yeah, dark supremacy. This is a nice move. Basically, you use this on the dark move. Not the dark move. Use this on the dark monster. But Dib is not very effective damage. But look at this effect. Debilitating Shadows. So I use the first one capable of applying this debuff here. Debilitating Showers. You take 80% more damage from dark moves. So once he's shown his supremacy over your monster, he's gonna light them on fire and then kill them. So you can kind of see why this hurts. It's different. 80% is way different than 50%. You're taking super effective damage plus more percent damage. So you can imagine how ridiculous that damage the damage is gonna be once you've applied that, and then you've done this. You've done Satanic Flames. It's gonna kill them. If they're brittle. If they're brittle, they're dead. There's no question about it. Now this guy, despite this is breedy, these really you can notice that these damage output moves, especially these last skill group 3 moves, are pretty decent in terms of damage output. This guy really isn't considered all that great. It's because again he has to deal with, he has to compete. It's like the Thunder equivalent. Why use any others? Why use Exoscale when Voltic exists? Why use General Uriel when Voltic exists? Why use any other Thunder monster when Voltic exists? Just regardless if for this one specifically, it's regardless of whatever the hell it is. Whether it be a damage dealer, denier, supporter, it doesn't matter. For dark dealers, in terms of, in this situation, it's terms of damage dealers. Why use why use Ninshot when Razul exists? Why use Ninshot with Nishant? Sorry, Nishant. Why use General Nishant when Razul exists? Why use General Nishant when Barbatos exists? Why use General Nishant when there's all these other popular dark attackers to use? Well, I use Nishant when Krampus. Krampus is excluded in this situation. It's more so looking at the damage output aspect, because there are so many dark damage dealers in this game. There's just a lot of them, and the main one is why use General Nishant when there's Razul and or Barbatos. And that's why I say again, if you really plan on using this guy specifically, you should rank him up a bit. I'm going to say that. Rank him up to at least 110. Yeah, rank him up to 110. The stats just get it all around better. He's faster. He can if the strength rune's a really high end strength rune, he can run two speeds in a strength rune and he's just fine. He's going to be able to outplace the Barbatos. In all honesty, he's going to be able to outplace Barbatos. He's going to be able to outpace Razul. Just 0 KO. Oko him. Because of the single strength rune is high enough. His base power is high enough to it's amplified. If that strength rune is really pretty, it's gonna do insane. He's gonna do so much damage. He's just gonna get rid of things that really have low base life, and I think Barbatos and Razul kind of have. I think that was kind of the thing, they had low base life, or their base life was all right, but it's not too high. He'll for sure he'll knock something out. Something dies. That's just a given. But he has to be ranked up. You gotta rank him up a bit before you start seeing that. Because right now, where he's at now, he does need double damage. He does need, he needs that. He's in that spot at the moment where you do need to apply double damage buff to do some really serious damage. Is this still a respectable? Yeah, it's respectable basic damage, but you gotta realize you need the dark monster dead right away. For some of these dark damage, just some of these dark damage, dark monsters in general. You don't want them to stay out forever. You want to get Krampus right away. You want to get rid of him right away because he denies freezing is just not fun to deal with. You want to get rid of Royal Razorface right away because stunning and dazing is really hard to it's hard to get over sometimes. Razul, you really want to get rid of him right away, or at least make sure he's so weak to the point of not being able, when he does, if the AI ever does his triple damage buff, he's not going to have enough life to even take advantage of it, because he's going to use that and then die shortly after because he didn't have enough life to use it. And you can still die. Yeah, if you don't have over, like, if you're below 50% of your life and you do use the buff on Razul, you will die. Like, the Razul will die. He doesn't get like 1 hit point left. No, it doesn't work like that. He takes 50% of his max life. If you're below 50%, the Razul will die. That's just the thing. Yeah, you kind of want to make sure that's the same, like, same boat with kind of Barbatos. You want to make sure you do a lot of damage with him. So if he does do that extra turn of double damage, or even gets he gets to that point, he doesn't have enough life to sustain it. That's kind of the deal with that situation. I think Nishant has potential to be great, but you have to rank him up first. That's kind of just the thing, to make him, like, really, really great. Because he doesn't have, like, the strong self-support as other dark monsters do. He also doesn't have lifesteal. He doesn't have like some monsters have, like some dark monsters do have carry lifesteal. That's really powerful. He doesn't have any sustainability to go with his immunity for that single turn. So that's kind of bothersome. So rune sets real quick. Basic damage build, 2 strengths and a speed. Or if you're kind of in that beat 'em up area, if you're in that. If you're above middle class, if you're dealing with just like a whole bunch of teams that are just using speed or 2 speeds and a strength and really high end runes, you do kind of want to build really, you want to build more oriented with that. You could still run the 2 strengths and a speed, and or strength and 2 speeds. You're playing the brittle game. Like, everybody's playing the brittle game. That's kind of like the difficult thing when you get to that area where everybody starts playing like it's the PvP arena, where if they're playing the brittle game, sometimes you do have to play the brittle game too. And in terms of dark damage dealers, if you're fighting a dark damage dealer, you kind of do have to play the brittle game at that point. You do need to, like, play brittle to beat brittle, if you know what I'm saying. Especially if you only have basic life. If you don't have, like, the option of really high-end, like, if you don't have, like, high-end life runes at your utility. And this guy doesn't even, like, he can't take advantage of life runes, in terms of, because he's, like, the natural base life is just too low, and he doesn't have any moves that scale with life. He doesn't have any life recovery to scale with that life rune. So you kind of need to be brittle. This guy is meant to be brittle. Usually, I would say, like, you might want to sustain him. This guy was not meant to sustain. This guy is not sustaining. He wants the job right away. That's kind of what his forte is. He wants the game done right away. He wants his sword to kill the enemy. That's kind of his playstyle. He just wants it done. He doesn't want the game to last forever. So tank fights is this guy's not meant for tank fights. This guy's meant for fights, like, he's meant to take advantage of opportunities where the enemy was kind of not prepared to take a huge amount of damage from basic attack damage. That's kind of his forte. Is he the best one that does that? No, straight up natural damage. Like, Barbatos has the best. Like, in terms of just straight up blowing something up, Barbatos can do that exceptionally well, and or Razul does that exceptionally well. Just again, he has to deal with those two. He has to deal with the best damage dealers in the entire game. It's interesting that the best damage dealers in the top 2 anyway in the entire game are both in the dark category. It's kind of an interesting thing. Some people would say, "Nah, dude, Voltic is the best damage dealer of all time." That might change. Like, like, you can go. You can get away with a lot of things with Voltic, but with, like, the release, with the release of this guy with Deciday, that might start to change. We might not see Voltic on defense anymore. When people realize how strong this thing is against Voltic. Armor made a video about, like, Tessaday versus Voltic, and dude, Voltic just, like, every single game he went in with Tessaday, he just destroyed. He destroyed, like the first turn, Tessaday just destroys Voltic. And a few people in the YouTube comments, I was like, nah, Voltic is still better. And one said, all Voltic has to do is build full speed. Another guy commented, yeah, but nobody ever builds full speed on Voltic. And that's true. Nobody does build full speed. If at the very least two speeds and a stamina rune. That's as high as it goes in terms of speed. It's at least 2 for speed. If they do plan on doing more than 1 speed rune, it's only 2. I don't think I've ever seen any Voltic run 3. That's absurd. But yeah, but in terms of like not breaking, like getting more than one turn, like more than 2 or 3 turns. In terms of like getting, well, I guess getting more than an extra turn, really. Besides like one, like the span, like they have an extra turn move, but they can't like get 6 turns in the span of that one self turn. Like the thing that Voltic can. These are the best in terms of damage output. These are the best damage outputters in the game. But yeah, that's everything you need to know about General Nishant. I'm sorry if this video was too long to your liking. I had a lot of fun making this video. It was a lot of fun making this video. I'm Dib the Awesome. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll catch you guys later.